students, Mr. Lawrence here, and we are going to get a little extra practice with the little off word. All right, hope you're excited because this stuff is really easy to do, and I think it's really fun. Remember, the little off word is an acronym that stands for first, outer, inner, last. I'm not going to rewrite that because I wrote it in the last video, but remember, here we go. We're going to do problem number 1 here. We're going to do the firsts, right? There's our firsts, and when I do our firsts, I'm going to get x times x, and I know that anisemnitis is going to tell me it's x squared. Remember, if I were Ashley Leonard, I would stick little ones right there because I know I'm doing x times x, right? Okay, very good. And then I'm going to do my outers. There we go, there's the outers. And when I get my outers, I'm going to do x times -6, which would be a -6x. Then I'm going to do my inners, and I'm not talking belly buttons. Here we go. I'm going to do my inners, and I'm going to get a positive 6x. And notice I use the operators. There's a negative on that 6, and there's a positive on that one. I didn't put a plus out here because we assume it's positive, right, if it's the lead term. Finally, I have to do my lasts, and my lasts are these two, right? And that would be 6 times -6, which is -36. All right, so I get these two are like terms. So I'm going to combine those like terms. So my final answer is going to be x squared. These are actually going to cancel. They're gone. -6, +6. That won't always happen, but in this case it does. And then a -36, and I just foiled. All right, I'm not going to do the next 3 for you. I think you've seen enough examples, gotten enough practice. I think it's time for you to do them. Go ahead and pause the video, do problems 2, 3, and 4, and then when you're ready, you can see my solutions. And this will be a very quick video. Okay, here comes my solution for number 2. I'm going to do first, outer, inner, last, inner, last. Sounds like Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes, your favorite song. My firsts, 6x squared. My outers, 15x. It's positive, I'll put a plus. My inners, -12x. It's negative, I put a negative. My lasts, -30. Like terms? You bet your boots. 6x squared plus 3x minus 30. Now wait a minute. Make sure you didn't make any mistakes here. Make sure that you got a 6x squared here. Okay, that's a very common mistake. Make sure you didn't end up combining this term with these two terms. Kyle Smith can tell you that they're not like terms, right? If you're wondering how to get a -3x, just look at the two I highlighted in blue. That would be a 15 minus a 12 would be a -3. Okay. All right. Let's try number 3. If you haven't done it yet, please pause the video. If you have, here comes my solution. I'll do this one in blue. Firsts are going to get me 20x squared. Outers are going to get me -35x. Inners are going to get me -8x. Doesn't look much like an eye. And the lasts, are going to get me +14. Looking for like terms, like terms. Do I see any like terms? Like terms, like terms, like terms. I got a -35x and a -8x. Ooh, I found some like terms. I feel so special. All right, I got 20x squared minus a 43x plus a 14, and there you go. I'm very good at the little f word, I have to tell you this. Although I have had years of practice, I'm sure you can get very good at it too. All right. Hey, you know one thing I noticed here? Check this out. Right here. In this first one, I got a -36. On this last one, I got a -30. But on this one here, number 3, I got a +14. How come? How come? Well, if you look, I have a plus and a minus. And I multiply a positive times a negative, I get a negative. Here I have a minus and a plus. And when I multiply a negative times a positive, I get a negative. Right? And then in this one, I have 2 negatives. Well, I get a positive. Right? There you go. Remember the whole plus minus thing with your hand? Why I made such a big deal about you learning how to multiply positives and negatives? Not get it wrong? Because if you can't do that right in this kind of problem, there's so much else going on, you're lost forever. All right, anyway. Um, let's do problem number 4. Hopefully you've already done it. My first's 8x times 5x, 40x squared. Okay, my outer's 72x. It's positive. My inners are going to get me a positive 15x. And my last are going to get me a positive 27. And just to show you it's consistent, I had a plus, and my last term ended up being positive, didn't it? Now, Mr. Lawrence, make sure you don't forget to combine your like terms. And I'm looking for my like terms. Like terms, where are you? Like terms. Looks like the outers and inners are like terms. That won't always happen, but in many of the examples it will. So be on the lookout for it. Okay, it's not always that they're like terms, but very often they will be. How about 40x squared? 72 and 15 looks like it's going to be 87x, and then a plus 27. And that's it. Hopefully you're becoming an expert at the little f word. This is pretty easy stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to build to something more challenging. By the way, I heard rumors of a quiz tomorrow. All right, Mr. Lawrence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.